Well, hi guys and gals, me George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and I'm back working on the Goofy Cart. And as I had suggested, the next thing I have to do is to make up my chain idler. And with that in mind, I have to weld on this spud here. It's a hollow thing. I just got the bolts to hold it in place. That way when I put my idler in, it'll pivot in on that. So hold on to your hats. So I'm going to weld this on and then we'll bring it back and see how it looks. Okay, it's welded. Don't look too carefully, too closely, because I'm not a professional welder by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a hobbyist that's been doing it for a few years, that's all. And as my eyesight gets worse, my welding abilities seem to diminish. It seems like everything I do these days is diminishing returns. So let's see if this is going to work. Got to take the bolt out that's in there. I expect that that's hot. And because I expect that it's hot, I'm not going to put on my nylon washer. But I will set this up with my brass washer. This is going to slide in place. If I get it in here. Come on. Get it to slide in there. There we go. And I've got to space it out some, and I figured that was going to happen. So I've got to figure out exactly how much we're going to space it out. Let me bring you over here so you can see better what I'm seeing, what I'm doing. Now you can see my pivot point is here, and this is where my thing is, and that's hitting on my jack that I have underneath. That's where it needs to go. But as you can see from this angle, I'm not centered on the chain at all. So I need to space it out away from. And I do have a nylon spacer to go on there. And I have another brass spacer to go on there. So I'm thinking I'm going to try doing the nylon spacer first, and we'll see what happens. And then, once we get that taken care of, then I've got to be able to drill this wrench. That's what this is another wrench that I welded a bolt onto, and it's going to be welded inside on that end too, and make it so that it pivots on this point, and I got to drill a hole so I can have a spring on it to keep the tension on it. Yep, it's getting there. Now we're going to go cool it off. I'm using grade 8 bolts on this, just so you know, so it'll stand up under the gaff. You see Looks like I welded it to the vise. Yeah, we'll have to do a little cleanup on this side too. But what I want you to see right here is this is made in the USA. No brand name on it. It does have a number over here, 725, whatever that means. And it says Drop Forge Select Steel. That's all it says. And you can see this one here was 7/16, and this end here was 1/2 inch. So we'll finish cleaning that up. I've got to clean up that weld a little bit there, and then we'll put it on the cart. I should have turned the camera on to show you the process that I had to go through to drill that simple hole. You'll notice that I had cleaned up this wrench and all that, and it was nice and shiny. And now it kind of has a blue tinge to it and a black tinge. That's because to get this to be able to drill it, I had to heat it up and get this puppy cherry red before a drill would cut through this. This is, after all, Drop Forge Select Steel. It's hardened, and you cannot drill through hardened steel with a regular drill bit. And the only way you can do it is to heat that puppy up cherry red and then drill it while it's hot and then allow it to cool. And I actually quenched it with water to make it cool faster, and that will harden it, although I have no way of measuring how hard. But certainly it's enough. So now we're ready to mount this in place. So I've drilled a hole here, and now I'm putting a bolt in, and this will catch the top end of the spring. That locks that in place like that. Now, see if I get enough strength in my arms now that I've done this to get my spring to hook on here. I do, but I'm not sure that that's going to be enough. That's not stiff enough. At idle it's fine. Of course, you know there aren't any plans for this. This is build as you go. Yeah. Need to back this screw out some because this is rubbing against the frame more than I want it to. Well, I guess the only way to prove whether that's going to be stiff enough is to try it out. So we got to finish putting some things together, and yep, I got to button up the front end of this tie rod end down inside, get that together, and then I guess the next step for me is unhooking the engine. I think I'm going to pull the engine out and see what we have to do. Sorry for the jerky cam. We're going to have to see what we have to do to put in a V-twin motor. I have I have a V-twin that's in a lawnmower that I use just for pulling my yard trailer around, and I can put it in here. It would be horizontal shaft, not really what I mean it would be vertical shaft, which is not really what I want to do, but if that's what I got to do to make this work, that's what I'm gonna do. So hold on to your hats. The drivetrain, as far as the back end that all broke and everything, is pretty much taken care of now, and I'm just going to put it back together and we'll test it out, and maybe I'll do that before I pull this motor off and then see where we go from there. So thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing, thumbs up, sharing, all them good things. Till next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying thanks for watching. Bye now.